new lesson, unit number 2, period number 3. In this lesson, we are going to discuss the difference between the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. Let's start with these timelines. What do we mean by timeline? الخط الزمن. What do these timelines tell? I eat lunch every day. This is a repeated action. I mean that it is a routine. It happens every day. And the second sentence, it says, rain falls from the sky. This is a general fact, a general truth. So these timelines, as you can see, they reflect the meaning and the uses of the present simple, of course. So as you can see, the timeline, it's just a line that shows the time in which the action happened. For example, we have mentioned another use for the present simple, which is to talk about scheduled future events. Let's read the last sentence. My plane lands at 11:20. So here we are talking about the future. So when we want to symbolize this tense on the timeline, we use an X after the present time, in the future. Well, this is to identify what do we mean by timeline and how it is used. There is another tense that we have learned, and this is its timeline. As you can see, this timeline has 3 parts: past, present, and future. In the present part, we have a curved line, بمعنى خط منحني. This line shows that the verb is continuous at the present time. So this is the timeline that represents the present continuous. Now we can start our lesson. Starting with the present perfect simple tense, المضارع التام. Look at this example. We have sung a beautiful song. We have sung a beautiful song. What is the verb in the sentence? Of course, it is have sung. What does it consist of? What does the verb include? What are the parts of the verb? As you can see, we have 2 parts in this verb, which is have and sung. Have is called an auxiliary verb. I mean, it is one of the helping verbs. And in the present perfect, we use have or has. And you know, we use have with plural subjects like we. But we use has with singular subjects like she. The second part of the present perfect is sung. In this example, we have the main verb, which is the past participle of the verb sing. So in general, the form of the present perfect is has or have plus the past participle of the verb, or verb 3. تصريف الثالث من الفعل. What is the use of the present perfect? We have here the same sentence. We have sung a beautiful song. It cheered us up, which means أبهجتنا. So now we are happy, we are pleased. So as you can see, this is the timeline for the present perfect. In the present time, we have a verb that has finished. It happened. But now, at the present time, there is an effect. أي يوجد أثر للفعل في الوقت الحالي. الفعل تم وانتهى في الماضي، ولكن له أثر في الوقت الحاضر. So the use of the present perfect is to talk about a verb that happened in the past, but it affects the present. For example, the effect of the verb have sung is that we are now pleased. Let's see other examples to identify the key words for this tense. and where can we use them in the sentence. Starting with the first one, we have just finished lesson 2. So this verb is finished, but it has an effect. When we have just finished lesson 2, it means that we have done exercises and we have understood the lesson. And now we are moving to period number 3. Well, the second example, she has already climbed the hill. She has already climbed the hill. Here we have another verb that had happened in the past, but the near past, I mean, and it has an effect in the present time. I have recently or lately washed my car. So what do you think the effect of this verb is? Of course, the car is clean. So, now the key word that we have seen in the first example is just, which means للتو. And actually, we have to say that there's a little bit difference between the keyword just and already. Just بمعنى للتو, but already it means that I have done the verb before I expected it. أي أبكر أو انتهيت من الفعل أبكر من الوقت الذي يتوقع المتكلم أو المستمع. Well, in the third example, recently or lately, which are synonymous words, they mean حديثا. And as you can see, each one of these keywords has a position in the sentence. Let's figure them out. Now, just and already are used between the two parts of the verb, بين قسمي الفعل, between have or has and the third conjugation of the verb, أي تصريف الثالث من الفعل. But recently and lately, they are free. These keywords are free. I mean that we can use them at the beginning of the sentence, or the middle, or at the end of the sentence. We have other keywords like I haven't done my homework yet, or I haven't done my homework so far. So these two keywords have the same meaning, which means إلى الآن, بمعنى until now. In the following example, they still haven't arrived to the bus station. Here we have another keyword, بمعنى ما زال. The following one, he has traveled 100 kilometers so far. Also we have here the keyword so far. How long has he traveled so far? Now, what do you notice? Where and when do we use these keywords? Well, the keyword so far, it could be used at the end of the negative sentence. And as you can see, the word negative is between brackets, which means that the sentence could be negative or positive. Just like example number 1 and example number 3. In the first one, the sentence is negative. But in sentence number 3, the sentence is positive. Also so far could be used at the end of the question. Like example 4. How long has he traveled so far? Regarding yet is always used at the end of the negative sentence. And still, it's used before the negative verb. So the verb in the sentence with still should be negative. Still haven't. Well, more and more keywords for the present perfect. I have never been in Manchester. Have you ever been in Manchester? So these two keywords are famous with the present perfect. And as you know, never, it reflects a negative meaning for the sentence. أي تعكس معنى النفي للجملة. أي تحقق معنى النفي للجملة. But ever, it's used in the question form. And both of them are used between the two parts of the present perfect verb. Also, we have two other keywords for the present perfect. Look at these two examples. I have lived in Rafah for 5 years. The following one, I have lived in Rafah since 2015. So what is the difference between using the keyword for and using since? Actually, for it means لمدة. So we use it before a number of days or a number of months or a number of years, just like example number 1. While since, it's used to show the time when the verb started to happen. For example, we can use since with a year like 1990 or 2000, or since I was 5, since I was 3. Also, since April with a month, since May, or with a date like since the 2nd of May, or since Monday with a day. Well, that's regarding the present perfect. And now let's move to the present perfect continuous, المضارع التام المستمر. We have been singing for an hour. As you can see, this sentence is similar to the example that we have got for the present perfect, which means that we can use different tenses for the same verb according to the idea that we want to convey. يعني وفقا للفكرة اللي بنحاول نوصلها بنستخدم الزمن المناسب. So, we are going to sing more. Now, the verb in the sentence have been singing, as you can see, it consists of 3 parts. Have, which is a helping verb, and we call it an auxiliary verb. The second part is been, which is the past participle of be, أي التصريف الثالث من be. And finally, singing, which is the main verb in this verb, or in this present perfect continuous verb. Singing is the present participle with ing بمعنى الفعل مضاف له ing. So, the form of the present perfect continuous is have or has plus been. إذا been ثابتة في تركيبة الفعل بالإضافة إلى الفعل الرئيسي بالتصريف الأول مضاف له ing. Now, regarding the use, the استخدام, and this is the timeline for the present perfect continuous. Look carefully. Here, as you can see, we have a verb or an action that happened in the past and it is continuous up to the present time. So here, as you can see, the verb is not finished. In the present time, it is continuous. أي هو مستمر الآن في لحظة أيضا الحديث عنه. الفعل بدأ فعليا في الماضي لكن مستمر إلى الآن. وهذا هو الفرق بين الزمن المضارع التام والزمن المضارع التام المستمر. في الزمن المضارع التام الفعل انتهى في الماضي قبل وقت قريب لكن له أثر في الوقت الحاضر. أما المضارع التام المستمر فالفعل بدأ في الماضي ومستمر إلى الآن. So again, the use of the present perfect continuous, it's used to talk about an action verb. فعل في حركة, في action, that started in the past and continues up to the present. And it's very important to focus on the action verb. The action verb like wait, stay, play, study, drive, do. إذن the present perfect continuous is used only with action verbs. أي لا يمكن استخدام الزمن المضارع التام المستمر مع أفعال non-action أي مع الأفعال stative verbs. فالstative verb فقط يستخدم مع المضارع البسيط أو المضارع التام وليس المضارع التام المستمر. So the present perfect continuous only is used with action verbs مع الأفعال اللي فيها حركة. More examples. We have been studying for a long time. He has been driving and driving. She has been working since 10 a.m. Well, in these 3 sentences, we have 3 key words for the present perfect continuous. These key words are In this tense, we can use for and since, as well as the present perfect, but with much focus on the length of time. أي في تركيز على مدة القيام أو على طول مدة القيام بالفعل. For, when we use for with this tense, it is accompanied with words like a long time, for a long time. هنا في دلالة على طول مدة القيام بالفعل, for a long time, or for ages, لسنوات أو لعصور, for hours, for the last 3 years, for many years, for over 10 years, for more than 5 years. So it is accompanied with a long period of time. And since it is same or the same as the examples that we have seen for the present perfect. Also, another way or another key word for the present perfect continuous is to repeat the verb, just like example number 2. When we repeat the verb driving, it means that we are trying to say that the verb took a long period of time and it is still continuous until now. Also, we can use other keywords like the word all. For example, all day, all morning, all this time, all night, and so on. The question form of the present perfect continuous is like this one. How long? How long it's used to show or to ask about the period of time. And it is followed, as you can see, with has, the helping verb, she, the subject, been playing, this is the form of the verb, and the completion, تكملة الجملة, the piano. Of course, we have to answer this question using the same form, the same tense. She has been playing the piano since she was 7. Well, now I'd like to give you this question. I have in this school for over 10 years. Here, which tense could we use with the verb be? The present perfect simple, المضارع التام البسيط العادي, or the present perfect continuous? Actually, there is a note that could help you. It says you can't use present perfect continuous tense with stative verbs like be, have, see, like, etc. Even if there is a long period of doing the verb. So, in this example, we have for over 10 years. This is a long period of time. So you may think that we have to use the present perfect continuous, but this is not right. We have to use the present perfect. That's because be is a stative verb, and we have mentioned that the present perfect continuous is only used with the action verbs. So the answer, of course, is I have been in this school for over 10 years. Let's move now to your book for more examples. Number 1, the girls have just set off. Number 2, we haven't found another clue so far. Number 3, we still haven't found that wall. Number 4, we have been going the wrong way. Number 5, we have been running and running. And 6, we have been running for ages. Let's look at the examples again to take the best way to complete the statements. This is the general rules. Number 1. Examples 1, 2, 3. الأمثلة 1, 2, and 3 are in the present perfect, of course. Number 2. We often use the present perfect for past actions لأفعال بدأت في الماضي that affect the present. Like example number 1. The girls have set off. الفتيات انطلقوا. So now they are running. This is the effect at the present time. Number 3. We can use the present perfect for past non-actions. أي يمكن استخدام المضارع التام سواء مع الفعل الستيتيف أو مع الفعل الأكشن بنفس الطريقة. That affect طبعا الفعل affect the present. Like example number 2. We haven't found another clue so far. فالverb عندنا found عبارة عن non-action verb. أي stative verb، أي فعل ليس فيه حركة. وبالتالي we can use this tense, the present perfect, because there is an effect of the verb at the present time, which is we are still looking. This is the effect. Number 4. We often use just, already, not yet, أي yet في الجملة المنفية, still not, and not so far. So far في نهاية الجملة قد تكون الجملة منفية أو لا, with the, of course, the present perfect. Number 5. We often use the present perfect continuous for actions that started in the past and continue up to the present. Like example number 4. We started going the wrong way and we are still going the wrong way. So the verb is continuous. مستمر إلى الآن. Number 6. With the present perfect continuous, we often repeat the verb or use time phrases like for ages to emphasize للتأكيد على how long the action has been. Well, let's move to exercise Now let's move to exercise number 2 in your book. Rearrange the words to make positive and negative statements in the present perfect. As you can see, we have scrambled words and you have to use the verb with the right tense in the present perfect. So, as you can see, this is the answer. The girls have already set off, but the boys haven't started so far. إذا من الضروري الانتباه على موضع استخدام الكيوردز. فالكيورد already بين قسمي الفعل، بين have و set off. أما بالنسبة ل so far في نهاية الجملة والفعل طبعا منفي حسب معنى الجملة. Number 2. The girls have passed the sign, but they haven't reached the lake yet. Number 3. They have seen the final clue, but they have just turned west instead of east. إذا المهارة الأساسية المطلوبة من هذا التمرين هو معرفة أو التدرب على موضع استخدام الكيورد المناسب في داخل الجملة. Moving to exercise number 3. Work in pairs, ask and answer questions in the present perfect continuous. Use since or for. فالسؤال مباشر, you have to apply the present perfect continuous. You have an example. Lana is 6 today, and she is a very clever child. Talk about the time chart. Number 1. Play the piano. We have to use play the piano with the present perfect continuous, but in a question form. Just like the example below. When student A says, how long has Lana been playing the piano? Of course, the answer goes, we have to use the sentence. She has been doing that. You can say that or you can repeat the verb. She has been playing the piano for, of course, from this you can get the answer, for a year. Now, number 2, you have to form the question at first. How long has Lana been? And you have to use the verb writing. Now the answer, she has been writing. Here we have the time, the age of 4, أي منذ عمر 4 سنوات. وبالتالي أكيد راح أحتاج أستخدم since لتحقيق المعنى. Since the age of 4. Now number 3, how long has Lana been reading? She has been reading الآن the last 3 years أي السنوات الثلاثة الماضية. فهذه عبارة عن فترة، عبارة عن مدة، وبالتالي we have to use for. Number 4. How long has Lana been running and jumping? She has been doing that in the age of 15 months أي عمر 15 شهرا. فهذه بداية القيام بالفعل, so we need to use since. Now number 5. How long has Lana been talking? She's been doing that and she was a year old أي كان عمرها سنة. أي هذه بداية القيام بالفعل, وبالتالي we need to use since. Number 6. How long has Lena been walking? She has been walking the age of 9 months أي عمر 9 أشهر. وهذه أيضا بداية القيام بالفعل. إذن we need to use since. I have finished my presentation and now your task is to do these 2 exercises. Just write them in your exercise notebook, answer them and send me your answers. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.